Theory of everything, time travel, part 2. In this video, we will try to understand what is the size of our universe, preferred size, and we will stick to the observational evidence. Means when you watch through powerful telescopes like Hubble telescope and James Webb telescope, which is new and which is more powerful for the infrared spectrum, means cosmic microwave background they want to observe. So whether the universe has red shift or blue shift, or whether some galaxy is in red shift or blue shift. Red shift means going away from us, blue shift means coming near to us. But even with ordinary telescope, if you watch planets, stars, moons, satellites, or general observational universe, which we can observe with our naked eye through telescope, we can see planets, stars, moons, comets, asteroids. Usually they are in shapes of different types of balls, spheres. They are spheres, semisphere, hemisphere, concave sphere, convex sphere, hyperbolic sphere, parabolic sphere, bolic sphere. So different types of balls, shapes, various shapes. They may be small, they may be big, but usually they are spheres. So through telescope, if you watch, it seems that nature prefers spheres of different shapes and size, and it is clear and evident, no need for fictional mathematics to prove all these things. Means science fiction, superstition, philosophy, they are more or less same. So whatever we see, we have to believe that. Okay. And also another thing, what we can see is planets rotate around self, revolve around central bodies. So these rotations and revolutions are elliptical, maybe circular, hyperbolic, parabolic, ellipse, different types of ellipses, or they are cross sections of cones or spheres. Basic geometry. It can be 2D geometry also and 3D geometry also. In this video, I will also try to comment on or make you understand what is strings theory. First, let us complete that size issue of the universe. So sphere is the thing in nature via telescope. So it is confirmed. See, let us not talk of exceptions, right? Then anyone will agree planets are spherical, stars are spherical, satellites are spherical, maybe they are oblong, means like cylindrical, like a bullet shape. So that can be called as an ellipse or elliptical shape. Now theory of everything basically tries to connect microscopic and telescopic world, right? So now let us go into the telescope. Through telescope also, if you watch different types of cells, even here see, now the most famous diagram is the coronavirus. Everyone knows it is spherical with spikes. right? But surprisingly, even in microscopic world, it seems that nature prefers spheres only, semispheres, hemispheres, spheroids, different types of balls, concave spheres, convex spheres, or saucer shapes. Even in telescopic world also saucer shapes are there, and microscopic world also saucer shapes are there. Saucers or spheres may be convex, concave, hyperbolic, parabolic, elliptical shapes. So I find it surprising that in the telescopic world also shapes are more or less same, and in the microscopic world also shapes of the cells, division of cells, they are more or less same only. So it is surprising that nature seems to prefer different sizes or types of balls, spheres, saucers, cross sections of cones, or different cross sections of spheres as elementary, primary, secondary, or complex shapes. Means this is clear and evident. Again, here we don't require mathematical or fictional mathematics to prove all these things. It is visible. So we can very safely, whatever observational evidence we have, we can see through the telescope or through the microscope. See, whatever we can see. But there is, again and again I repeat, there is world beyond our telescopes also and world beyond our microscopes also, right? But we want observational evidence, proof. Evidence means proof. So whatever we see, we can't deny, right? So it is clear that nature prefers spheres of different shapes and size, convex, concave. I am repeating so that the effect is there, right? So it is quite possible that because microscopic world is also sphere, telescopic world is also sphere, more or less. And this microscopic world is residing into the telescopic world. Telescopic world is also made brick by brick from cells, right? So cells begin in a convex or concave shape, and from the cell the whole human being or any animal is built. So here the question I am trying to answer is, the most preferred shape in nature, in telescopic world or in the microscopic world, seems to be sphere, different types of balls. And you can watch through any microscope, ordinary microscope, special microscope, ordinary telescope, special telescope, and the proof is clear and evident, right? So what size the universe is made, what is the most preferred shape the universe wants, and rotations and revolutions are usually, orbits are circular, elliptical, hyperbolic, parabolic. So whether 2D geometry or 3D geometry, doesn't matter. Spheres seems to rule the microscopic and the telescopic world. Even our telescope is a cylinder. Our microscope also is a cylinder. Our lens are convex and concave. We have convex and concave mirrors also in the telescope and in the microscope. So it is surprising, or maybe that is what nature prefers. So shape of the universe is clear. No mathematics, especially fictional mathematics, is not required to prove the shape of the universe. And it is clear that as microscopic world is responsible for the telescopic world, everything begins from a single cell and then expands. The seed grows into a big tree. A sperm and an egg grows into a big animal. So microscopic world converts into a macroscopic world. So microscopic world converts into a telescopic world, slowly and steadily. So that is quite clear. No additional proof or theorems, hypothetical theorems or equations are required for this size of the universe. Second topic is multiverse, multi-dimensions. And if you watch videos on all this multiverse and multi-dimensions, more than half are science fiction. Majority of them are science fiction. Even some scientists are trying to support fictional dimensions with fictional mathematics. And they call it science, means it is scientific superstition. See, let us be very clear. First we will look, instead of going into fictional mathematics and fictional dimensions. In fictional dimensions, see, we have a saying, we will say he is a multi-dimensional personality, multi-dimensional person, right? Dimensions, see, when, and they are saying that if you want to go in a different dimension, we will require a time machine, it will require a time wrap, we will require different kinds of energies. I mean, there are so many fictional things which are good for a very good Hollywood movie, but they don't stand the test of science. As I said in my first video, Time Travel, Theory of Everything, Part 1, scientific statements should be true or false. They are not true and false. That is not correct. Only irrational things can be true and false. Scientific things have to be true or false. And there are no other meanings or no other things. Experiments are experiments. You cannot invent hypothetical mathematics to support your hypothetical statements or imaginary world. So I call it as Alice in Wonderland with Don Quixote. Okay. So dimensions, they are giving funny examples to prove that a dimension is wrapped, right? So they will say that on a tightrope, if a man is walking on a tightrope, he can only go forward and backward, but he cannot go around the rope. Means, how can a scientist give such a childish example? For example, if on that tightrope, if we send a monkey or a trained gymnast, he can go from anywhere to anywhere on that rope, right? Monkey especially, gymnast also, trained gymnast, they can walk on the rope, they can talk on the rope, they can sleep, they can move around, they can do whatever they want on the rope. We have seen in circus also, they are jumping from one swing to another swing, right? Which is a very difficult task. Gymnastics is a very difficult task. So here they are giving an example that for an ant, a rope is a three-dimensional thing, and an ant can travel around the rope, it can walk around the rope. So when an ant is walking straight on the rope, it can go below the rope also. So that means for an ant, the whole rope is a very big sphere, big cylindrical thing, long, elongated. But why give the example of an ant? Supposing if we use, instead of an ant, supposing if dust mite, which are very famous in vacuum cleaners advertisement, they are showing us dust mites. If a dust mite we send on the rope, on the tight walking rope, for the dust mite, that road will be a highway. It will have different types of caves and tunnels. See, for a dust mite, that big rope is a big universe. So saying that with respect to our size, a rope is forward and reverse movement only, so it is not a dimensional thing. But for an ant, it is a three-dimensional thing. So when an ant goes down below the rope, we cannot do that. So that means that we are on a dimension, means on a very big sphere. Say example, Earth. if an ant is walking on our earth, if an ant is walking on the road, say, then the ant is not available, it has no idea about what the earth is, how big the earth is. So the other side of the earth for the ant, opposite side, they call that for the ant, that is a dimension, another dimension. See, everyone is microscopic compared to something. For an ant, the earth is too big, which it cannot imagine also. For us, means for a galaxy, we are also microscopic. For a galaxy, we are even lesser than an ant. For the telescopic world, which is out there, we are microscopic, even less than that. Maybe they are not aware also we are there. So dimensions, they are trying to say, multiverse, they are trying to say, they are giving funny examples of ant walking on rope and all other dimensions are wrapped. And the most fictional or funny part is they are saying time is a dimension. Means after seeing so many videos for so many years, time is a dimension, means I will come to that, but first let us clarify about this multiverse thing. They are saying that now I am speaking here on this video, there is some other world where I am again speaking there also. There is some other world where I am speaking also again. So there are 10, 11 dimensions, which they call fictional thing, fictional dimension, strings theory. And they think strings theory is the solution for theory of everything. Basically, strings theory itself is fictional. They have got no evidence for that. They cannot show the strings. Everything is fictional mathematics. They are inventing mathematics to justify strings theory, and they are calling it as the M theory, the main theory, the mother theory, and whatever. So many things they are calling. But what they want to say is strings theory is the mother of all theories, and it will, one fine day, theory of everything will come because of strings theory. It will not come, because strings theory itself is fictional. They have no empirical evidence whatsoever. Whatever evidence they are giving is purely mathematical, that to fictional mathematics which they are inventing for their own convenience, and then shouting eureka, eureka. Strings theory, they are saying there are 11 dimensions, and they are saying that 4 are visible, means length, breadth and height, which we have 3 dimensions. Then time is the 4th dimension, and then they are saying there are total 11 directions, 11 dimensions. So 11 dimensions, and they are giving theories, no proof. So that is the most surprising part, and they are having a consensus on that, which is more disturbing. Consensus is not science. So tomorrow if religious bodies come together, religious head come together and they give a consensus like they had in 1616, that earth is flat, earth is not circular. So consensus of religious heads. But that is funny. Means only because 10 people come together and say that this is true, false things cannot be true. This is applicable to scientists also. So 10 world famous scientists will come together, or 100 world famous scientists will come together, and say 51 or 50 or 60 scientists will say this is true. But where is the evidence? You are scientist and you talk every time about observational evidence, proof. No evidence is there. So time cannot be a dimension. I will explain. But first let me come to this multiverse thing. Multiverse, see, you should understand first the Fermi paradox. I will not explain what is Fermi paradox, because those who are in this field, they know what is Fermi paradox. Others can refer Google, Wikipedia, and there are so many means, and try and understand. See, this multiverse thing, if you look on the earth itself, whatever things we can observe through the telescope, whatever things we can observe through the microscope, See, it is clear on the earth, every human being has different fingerprints. On every continent, there is a different type of human beings race. Different races are there. Different types of tigers are there. Different types of horses are there. Different breeds of dogs are there. Different breeds of cats are there. Stripes of one tiger is not similar to another tiger. One flower is not similar to another flower. There is so much of flora, there is so much of fauna, animals, microscopic animals, telescopic animals, so many things. But on earth itself, if you observe the visible things, clear and evident visible things, it is clear that on earth itself, nature does not want to repeat even fingerprints. So it seems nature is happy with one and only thing. For example, my genetic pattern in this whole world is one and only. My fingerprint is unique. My iris or eye print is unique. My dental print is unique. No one is like me on this whole earth. So nature does not want repetition. Even in twins, there are microscopic differences, but differences are there. Even twins are not similar, not exactly similar. They may look similar. They are born on the same day and date, but they don't live exactly same lives. They don't die on the same day, and they don't have the same career also. Their likings and dislikes are also different. So it is clear that nature does not want repetition in this visible or invisible world. Why you want repetition? Means it is foolish, it is waste. So multiverse, thinking that somewhere something like earth exists, I can say with confidence, whatever we observe through the telescope and through the microscope, that see, in our solar system, if you look, every planet is different. Planetary print, every planet is different. Planets near the sun, Mercury and Venus, are more or less solid planets. Our earth is solid. Venus is also gaseous somewhat. Then giant gaseous planets are Jupiter and Saturn. Mars is rock hard like earth. Then there are ice cold planets, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. In our solar system itself, you will be surprised or not surprised. There is no repetition of planets also. See, it is quite possible that for nature, in one earth orbit, it can put another earth also. So it can have similar life like we have. Our earth has one moon. Saturn has means 70-80 moons. I am not aware, 82. Jupiter 4 are visible, but it also has multiple moons. Now see, multiple moons on a planet and one moon is not similar to another moon. They may be, on a majority, they may look same, but they are different also, like fingerprint. They have their own moon prints. Our planet prints, every planet's print is different. Every planet's physiology, the earth means physical properties, chemical properties of every planets are different. Physical and chemical properties of every moon, of every other planet is different. For the same planet, if with multiple moons, there is no repetition of moons also. See, even for earth, nature could have put 2 or 3 moons. What's the big deal? If Saturn can have multiple moons, if Jupiter can have multiple moons, what's the problem? Nature could have given us 2 or 3 moons. And see, all these multiple moons they are not on a collision course. They will not collide with each other. Otherwise, we would have seen so many explosions happening. So, every planet is different. Their moons are different. Multiple moons are different. No planet is like Earth in the solar system. And only because in some, say, billion light years away, some star is of the size of the sun, and at the same distance there is some planet like Earth. 1 astronomical unit, 1.5 million, means whatever. So they are saying yes, because the sun and the planet are at distance of the earth and the sun, so it is quite logical that it must be like earth. Without going there, I can say that it will not be like earth, because I am damn sure with whatever I see on the earth through the telescope and through the microscope, that God will not repeat again. I will repeat, God will not repeat any planet, any moon, any universe. God is not interested in multiverse, because God is God, or nature. Nature. For those who don't believe, let us use the word nature. Nature is not an idiot like human beings. We want to repeat things. We repeat televisions, we repeatedly make robots, we make computers which look same alike, we make mobiles which look alike. So we are repeating so many things, so we think maybe God is also repeating. No. A person or nature or God, someone with a superior intelligence, will get bored repeating the same things. So I think this is also a theory. Multiverse and multi-dimensions is a theory only. Level 1, level 2, level 3 means like dimensions, 1 to 11. And because after infinity, their maths fails, so they are not going beyond 11. So that is surprising. Dimensions, multiverse is not possible. You can refer to Fermi paradox. Though it is controversial, but still we can understand. I can be sure. Every time we need not be able to observe everything, but we can see whatever we see through that nature doesn't like repetition. See, different even tigers have different stripes. So many different breeds of tiger, different breeds of animals, flora, fauna. I am repeating because it is required. So on earth itself, we are not having any repetition. Every planet is different, every moon is different, solar system is different. So I am sure that every galaxy, every star, every other planet is going to be unique. There may be life there, but which we may not be able to understand. Means these microbiologists say the virus is not a living being as per medical standards. Means I don't understand. This coronavirus, it can mutate, it changes itself, it changes its spikes. There are so many bacteria which develop multi-drug resistance. So this billion-dollar research of scientists in vaccines and medicines, these bacteria and virus will just overcome them. And how can they say that these bacteria and viruses are not intelligent? They can kill us. Bird flu can kill a whole poultry farm. Mad cow disease can kill so many cows, has killed so many cows. So many pandemics and endemics have killed so many human beings, animals, planets also die because of various types of infections. And they are saying that this virus, bacteria, this microscopic world, they are not intelligent. See, that is funny. If they are not intelligent, how can they bypass our research? How can they develop resistance to our medicines? How can they develop resistance to our vaccines without intelligence? See, some sort of intelligence must be there. Maybe we are intelligent in our own way. But nature or God, I am a believer, so I will use God. You don't believe in God, so you can use the word nature. As a scientist, you are ashamed of believing in God, so don't believe. Who is forcing? Let us use the word nature. So nature, this microscopic virus, bacteria, germs, fungus can kill elephants, human beings, tigers, birds. It can contaminate water. It can eradicate life. And scientists are saying they are not intelligent. Means it shows who is intelligent and who is an idiot. Jokes apart, means so much of scientific ego. Why we want ego in this fight? So multiverse trying to say that someone like us exists in some parallel universe. It is science fiction. Don't believe this thing. Don't believe their mathematics also. It is fictional mathematics. Only they will understand. Like philosophy and religion, only those philosophical heads and those religious heads only understand what they are talking. We never understand. We are ordinary people. Same the other end is scientist. Only they will understand what they are talking. And they will justify also. False justification, false positive, false negative is not acceptable. As I said, a truly scientific statement should be true or false, not true and false. And fictional mathematics and fictional theories are not evidence. That is your imagination going wild. So, multiverse is not possible. Multi-dimensions they are saying. See, multi-dimension means what? They are saying that if you want to go into other dimension, we will require a time machine, we will require different levels of energy. For example, to travel billions of light years, just look at the tremendous amount of energy which will be required, which as on date we do not have the capacity or the knowledge. Second thing, traveling billions of light years, we are living at the most for 100 years. Assuming that we live for 100 years, how can you go to a star which is 4 billion light years away and come back? And who will be there on the star after 4 billion years? And when you come back, who will be there on the earth? If earth is there in the same position basically. This is a multimobile system. Sun is rotating around self, planets are rotating around self, planets are revolving around the sun, the whole solar system is revolving around the central Milky Way galaxy, the whole galaxy is revolving around something. So here everything is kinetic. Sometimes things appear stationary. Like when we are sitting in a plane or a bus or a train, we are stationary. But we are moving. For example, if you use relativity in a simpler form, a person in a roller coaster or all those games, roller coaster rides, deadly games, which I never like. I never sit on a swing also. Forget about roller coaster. So for a person who is in a giant roller coaster, when the roller coaster is moving and a person who is observing from below, stationary on the ground, a person or a one who is operating the ride or the roller coaster is sitting in his cabin and is looking at the computer panels, how the ride is going and whatever. So he is stationary. So for a person in a roller coaster, whatever he is observing is extremely means fast. It is going so fast, he is going up, he is going down, he is moving, he is crying, he is shouting, sometimes he is upside down, sometimes he is downside up, he is going straight, back, revolving, rotating, rocketing, coming down. So whatever universe a person who is riding the ride will observe will be totally different to a person who is sitting in the cabin or the controlling unit of the roller coaster and observing how the roller coaster is moving. So observational evidence for a person who is controlling from the control room is different, and observational evidence for a person in the roller coaster is different. So that is what is happening here. In this whole universe, we are all riding different kinds of rides, and we are observing so many things in so many different angles and dimensions that everything appears different from every different angle. Perspectives are different, and this is a multi-dimensional thing. It keeps on moving. So it is not possible that you can have a fictional mathematics for all these things, and with only one frame of reference you cannot justify that this is right or that is wrong. So that is what is called as the Fermi paradox. In that it says interstellar travel is possible and not possible also. Time travel is possible and not possible also. See, these things of true and false means it is unscientific. Scientific things have to be true or false. Now another thing, once we understand this dimension thing, so multiple dimensions may be there and we may not have the capability as on date to go into other dimensions, and we require different types of machines and different types of powers which we currently don't have, and the distances which nature has kept are so tremendous, telescopic distances, that our current technology is nothing. Means it is, we can only keep on imagining that we will do this and that. See, time traveling to the nearest star is, as on date, it is science fiction or scientific superstition. It is not possible. Clearly means, because we don't have the technology. Now second thing, how do we understand multidimension? Our earth itself is multidimensional. Our planet itself is multidimensional. Our solar system is multidimensional. I will explain. It is clear and evident, and please, means I will not go into fictional mathematics. Clear evidence I will give. Clear evidence. See, on the earth we have oceans. Then above we have got ionosphere, stratosphere, different levels of atmosphere are there when we are going up. You must have heard about these sea level things. Then hill stations are there. Some things are below sea level, some things are above sea level. For every kilometer on the earth, in any direction, forward, reverse, up, down, we have got 11 directions with respect to the compass. With respect to the compass, up and down is also there. So 11 directions are there, and they are saying there are 11 dimensions. Dimension is different, direction is different, but let us speak about a direction. So for every kilometer when you go above the earth, supposing towards the moon or outside the earth, roughly 7 types of different levels of atmosphere exist. Atmospheric pressure is different, atmospheric temperature is different. For every kilometer it will change. For every 10 kilometers it will change. For every 100 kilometers it will change. For every 1000 kilometers it will change on a very large scale. And for 10,000 kilometers and 1 lakh kilometers it will change like anything. Right? Roughly 7 atmospheres are there with respect to the earth when you go outside to the space. Now let us go inside the ocean. For ocean also, see, above when you go, atmospheric pressure reduces, air becomes thin, and you start becoming cold as you go outside the atmosphere into space. So space is cold. Now when you go into the ocean, for every kilometer, in fact in the first till say 1 kilometer or 1000 meters, sunlight reaches up till 1000 meters or 1 kilometer. Then for every kilometer there are different pressures of water which goes on increasing. Mount Everest is around 8,888 meters high. Challenger Deep is around 10,000 meters deep into the sea. 10,000 meters we have calculated via Challenger Deep and our satellites. So for every kilometer water pressure increases. Atmospheric pressure or water pressure is different, temperature is different, and after 1 kilometer sunlight is not visible in the ocean. It is dark. So below the ocean, after 1 kilometer, after 10 kilometer, after 100 kilometer, and up till 10,000 meters we have gone, 10,000 meters. So 8,000 meters, 8,888 meters is height of Mount Everest. I am not sure exactly, but roughly 8,000 meters is there, and 10,000 meters is Challenger Deep, bathysphere, our submarines, where human beings have reached. but in 10,000 meters for every 1000 meter. So going below the ocean for every 1000 meter means 1 kilometer. Different forms of life exist. See, so it is multidimensional. Ocean itself is multidimensional. Those planets which are really staying in the bottom of the sea, if you observe Discovery Channel, National Geography Channel, or all these beautiful educational channels, we can see that these animals are having so much tremendous pressures they can take. Means our submarine can crack down like an ordinary beer can. So we cannot go to that levels. We don't have machines to go to the depth of the ocean as on date with human beings inside them. So on Earth itself there are so many dimensions. See, how do you know you are going in a different dimension? Whenever you want to go in any different dimension, see, natural dimension is what? On Earth when we are staying, we are not wearing a diving gear, we are not wearing a space suit, we are moving around. Nowadays because of corona we are wearing mask, but that is okay. But on Earth we are terrestrial, right? So on Earth we will travel, we will breathe naturally, we will walk naturally. This gravitational thing will not affect us. We will walk, we will talk, we are comfortable on the Earth. But if you want to go underground, see, even underground from the center of the Earth to the crust of the Earth on which we stay, roughly different levels of Earth substrata. While you are going underground, 7 levels are there. So above the Earth there are 7 levels of atmosphere. When you are boring deep into the Earth to the center of the Earth, there are roughly 7 levels of Earth crust, from the central molten crust to the hardest crust outside, right? So 7 levels above we have got different atmospheric levels. Below underground also, below the ocean also, for every 1000 meter or 1 kilometer, we have got different life forms. And if you want to survive there in the ocean, underground or in the space, see, whenever you require a special machine, like submarines are required to go inside the sea. If you want to go into the center of the Earth, you require special machines, special suits. While our means in the mines, deep mines of coal mines or gold mines or whatever mines, they are deep. So mining is a extreme engineering. We have heard of mining accidents also. It is difficult to save persons who have been trapped in the mines because it is unnatural. When we are going deep into the Earth, we require special suits, special machines. So that means we are going in different dimensions. See, remember, whenever you cannot survive naturally, that means it doesn't belong to our world. It is a different world. That means a different dimension. It is clear. We have not yet explored our Earth. We cannot survive without proper gear on the North Pole and South Pole also. They are in fact different planets in a way. They are different worlds. We cannot survive there without proper gear. You cannot roam around nude on the North Pole and the South Pole. On the North Pole, the bear is roaming around, polar bear. South Pole, our penguin is roaming around. So they are natural there. See, whales, deep whales, big whales, sharks, dolphins. See, even in the ocean you can see, like in the microscopic world and telescopic world, we can see that nature favors spherical things, spheres or cylindrical things, like bullet-shaped things. Look at the fishes of different types and different breeds. Usually there's hydrodynamics. For example, a bird has aerodynamics. Our plane has aerodynamics. Our submarine has hydrodynamics. Our submarines usually end up looking like big whales or big sharks because that is the most natural shape in the water, underwater. More or less, small fish basic design is similar to big fish also. Small fish and big fish basic design is same. So the pressures they are taking are different. compared to what a small fish is living in fresh water. Now once you understand, to go in any dimension, you require special machines, submarines for underwater. For mining, you require special machines. When you go in space, you require space suit and space shuttle. Even in aeroplane, our aeroplanes are air conditioned also and oxygen conditioned also. A pressure is maintained inside the aeroplane, especially jet planes. Then in fighter planes, you must have heard that there are 1G, Mach 1 speed, Mach 2 speed, Mach 3 speed, Mach 4, Mach 5. Roughly, Mach 1 is around 1234 kilometers per hour. So 1000 kilometers per hour, 2000 kilometers per hour, 3000 kilometers per hour, Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, Mach 4. Problem with this Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 speeds is they are supersonic speeds. So the 1G, 2G and 3G forces are there, the pilot can black out. Now you tell me, if Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 speeds, if a pilot can black out, what will happen when we will travel with the speed of light? See, in normal persons, means even I am suffering from motion sickness. So you suffer from motion sickness, which is a medical problem. Some people suffer, some do not suffer. But whatever, but long distance journeys, motion sickness is possible. So motion sickness happens in normal traveling. Just imagine what will happen when we will travel Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 speeds. And when we are traveling, they are saying of interstellar travel, speed of light. In my first video, by mistake, I said 3 km per second. It was just means I am thinking while talking. As I said, I don't by heart. Speed of light, everyone knows, is 1,86,000 miles per second or 3 lakh kilometers per second. 3 lakh kilometers per second. 3 lakh kilometers per second. Right? So at that speed, which we are not near also, we have not achieved the speed of Mach 10 on Earth. Theoretical speeds. So traveling at 3 lakh kilometers per second, rest assured, currently it is science fiction, scientific superstition. We have no machines, no energies or nothing we have which can take us near the speed of light. When you travel faster than sound, naturally, technically, if someone talks something, you will not hear outside because you are traveling faster than sound, and that person outside will hear a sonic boom. If a supersonic plane, fighter plane, travels too near the earth, our glasses will break. Our window panes and glass will break. So now you tell me, if we are traveling for Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 fighter plane speeds, they require laser guided missiles to lock targets because they are traveling at tremendous speeds. The missile is also traveling at tremendous speeds. The target is also moving. So all these calculations only computer can do. Visually, you cannot lock that target. Visually, you can see a fighter pilot or a fighter jet fighting with another fighter jet. But 50% of the job is done by the computers. Our visibility at that speed is very poor. For supersonic speed or hypersonic speed, we don't have, our eyes are not designed to watch movement at that speed. So whatever interlocking war or locking warheads, firing missiles, dropping bombs, maximum things are done by computers, automatic. Because our eyes are not designed to watch at that speed. Now imagine you are traveling faster than light. See, we can see because of light. Right? We can see because of light. If I switch off the lights, now you will not see me because I have a light focusing on me, white light. So my video is clear. You can see me, my face. But if I switch off the light, you will not see me. Because light is not there, we can see only because of light. Now, If just imagine I am traveling faster than light, then my machine or space shuttle is traveling faster than light, 3 lakh kilometers per second. Now you tell me, how can I see anything? Because my eyes are not designed to see anything that is moving faster than light. Any scientist or doctor can tell me if I am wrong. If our eyes can take, we cannot see ultraviolet things, we cannot see infrared things, right? Because our eyes are not designed for that. So faster than light travel, without that it is not possible. Interstellar travel, traveling from star to star, from one galaxy to another galaxy, you cannot travel lesser than the speed of light. Whether faster than light speed is possible or not, only time will tell. I can tell you one thing, that in our lifetime it is not be possible. Sure, confirm. Or maybe even in coming 1000 years, it will not be possible. Because faster than light is not a joke, it is not a supersonic thing. Sound is something different. Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3 speeds we are using. But traveling at those speeds also is dangerous. And we can see you require well-trained persons for that. Of course, they will say that for this 1G or 2G, this G problems or this gravitational force because of which sudden acceleration takes place. When you are going from normal speed to supersonic speed, they accelerate suddenly. And therefore, that 1G or 2G problem comes. So they are saying that if there is a gradual acceleration, physics, if we gradually accelerate from 1G to 2G, 2G to 3G, means Mach 1 speed to Mach 2 speed, Mach 2 to Mach 3 speed, and slowly and steadily whenever we will reach the speed of light, if the acceleration is gradual and not sudden, then we will not have this problem of motion sickness or this 1G or 2G problem, where the pilot faints or where we can faint because of those tremendous speeds, right? So this multiverse thing is not true. It is clear that on Earth itself, whatever visible planetary system we have, our solar system, and whatever world Hubble is showing us, we can see each planet, see like human beings, all human beings have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 nose, 1 mouth, but still genetically we are different from each other. We are different species. Nothing wrong in that. Different breeds of dogs, different breeds of horses, different breeds of tigers, different breeds of human beings also, different breeds of birds also. So some are amphibian, means some fishes can swim also, like turtle can swim but it can stay on land also. Some fishes can stay on land also and in water also. So there are some birds which can fly, which can dive deep for fishing. They will dive deep, they will take the fish and they will come out. So some flying birds can swim, some swimming birds can fly. Our dolphins will swim, but they are flying also in the water, and they can survive on land also, because this basically they are breathing air. Dolphins, whales, but they can go deep below. Crocodiles, they can stay on land. Amphibians. So these multi-dimensional things, some animals can bypass. Amphibians will stay in water also and stay on lands also. So there are some birds which can fly and partially swim. Some birds which swim completely and fly partially. So that is also there. So some animals, nature or God has allowed access both worlds. Then in the night we have bats using ultraviolet or ultrasonic radar system. Nature has given them. So in the night they can see like our sonographic machine can see in our stomach or in our body, right? So on Earth itself there is nearly different types of flora and fauna, which in our Rig Veda is mentioned. It speaks about 84 lakh species on the earth, or in general 84 lakh species. Now it is more or less clear that around 1 crore different types of species are there, around 1 crore, give or take a few lakhs, flora and fauna, from microscopic or whatever visible world, right? So this multiverse thing is science fiction. I don't think another planet like Earth exists anywhere in this universe. And I can talk with confidence because, as I said, our Earth, 1 year is 365 days, right? 1 second is 1 second, 1 kilometer is 1 kilometer, okay? So on our Earth, we have got a year which is 365 days. We have a day and night, 12 hours day, 12 hours night, 24 hours day, we call. But this 1 year means what? Complete revolution or orbit of the Earth around the Sun, which takes 365 Earth days. But what is the 1 year for Jupiter? Jupiter takes 12 Earth years orbit around the Sun, revolve around the Sun. And Saturn takes 30 Earth years to orbit around the Sun. So it is clear that 1 Jupiter year is 12 Earth years and 1 Saturn year is 30 Earth years. Rotation of Jupiter around self and rotation of Saturn around self and all other planets is different. So day and nights on different planets are also different. So technically our day is 24 hours, Jupiter day is different, Saturn's day is different. So day means what? Second, first the time is there. So 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 24 hours is 1 day, right? 1 second is 1 second, 60 second is 1 minute, 60 minute is 1 hour. That is with respect to the Earth. So time with respect to the Earth, on Earth also for every 15 degree longitude, we are going forward or backward by 1 hour. So on Earth itself there are different time zones. On Earth also time is not same everywhere. Everywhere it is not sunrise, everywhere it is not, means after sunrise, morning is there, mid morning is there, afternoon is there, evening is there, mid evening is there, then night is there, midnight is there. So 24 hours divided by 2 is 12, divided by 2 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. So at different hours are there on different longitudes, especially 15 degrees. It will be forward or reverse for 1 hour with respect to the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. And we know that who are traveling by planes from one country to another country, they know that we have to adjust our clocks. So on Earth itself, whole Earth, time is not constant. Different times are there present on the Earth itself. So should I say that Earth has got different dimensions? Because there is day, there is night, exactly reverse. Here it is midnight, there it is midday, then vice versa. So time, morning, evening, etc. are different on the Earth at different longitudes. Climates are different at different latitudes, right? As I said, there are 7 levels of atmosphere when you go out towards space. Underwater also same, underground also same. Basic colors we can see is 7. Basic sounds of music is 7. Like in my first video I said, for musicians it is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And in our country we say sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. and Sani Dapa Magarisa. 7 sounds, 7 colors. So this is clear and evident. I am not going into the infrared, ultraviolet section of spectrum, visible spectrum, invisible spectrum. In sound, I am not going in the subsonic and hypersonic sounds, which are there. We can clearly assume if we can hear 7 sounds, there must be 7 levels in hypersonic also and 7 levels in subsonic also. Common sense. 7 levels in infrared, roughly, maybe more, maybe less, and 7 levels in ultraviolet, right? So if we stick to 7, it is surprising there are 7 levels of atmosphere in space. There are 7 levels of underground things, different crusts of the earth. There are different 7 levels when we go 10,000 meters to the bottom of the sea, roughly 7 levels. So this is clear. This 7 has to have something. It has been proved that we have 7 senses, not 6 senses, 7 senses. We can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste, then we can touch. These are 5 senses and 6 senses. But now it is proved we have got 7 senses. Taste also, there are 7 tastes, 7 types of tastes, right? Why I am forcing on this 7? Because it is clear and evident. So you can refer Google or Wikipedia, whatever I am saying. 7 tastes. So 7 is there, 7 tastes are there, 7 senses are there, and this is evident, clear and evident and present. This is not a mathematical fiction or a hypothetical theory. It is there. And if we carry this forward, see, now when they are talking about strings theory to combine the telescopic and the microscopic world. Microscopic world means quantum mechanics, quantum chemistry or quantum physics. It is one and the same, more or less. And telescopic world means theory of relativity. It may be special, it may be general, of Einstein. I am using telescopic and microscopic world because people will understand. Theory of everything wants to connect telescopic and the microscopic world, right? Basically they are already connected. They are interdependent and yet independent. This telescopic and microscopic world are interdependent and yet independent. See, now 11 dimensions, hypothetically they are saying in strings theory 11 dimensions are there, and they are giving hypothetical imaginary mathematics, fictional mathematics with zero evidence. But when, so this is science fiction, this is scientific superstition. Now let us come to philosophy and religion. If I will say, or if ordinary people talk about heaven and hell, like in different religious books it is given, if you do good things you go to heaven, if you do bad things you go to hell. So these things, when we speak about heaven and hell, philosophy, theology, religion, all religions have this. I am not taking the name of any specific religion, right? Immediately these scientists will say, or these people who don't believe in God will say, give proof. Where is heaven? Where is hell? See, you are talking about 11 dimensions and without proof, and you want us to believe that based on your fictional mathematics. And we are talking only about 2 dimensions apart from earth. One is heaven and one is hell. So only 3 dimensions are there for us, for believers. This is earth, and after death there is heaven or hell. So only 2 dimensions. And we have got philosophical evidence. Philosophical evidence is as good as science fiction. So science fiction and superstition are same. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. Right? So I am surprised. 11 dimensions you can talk without blinking your eyes. And we are talking about 2 dimensions of heaven and hell. You will shout superstition, superstition. Means I find it means funny. Okay. So how do you justify? In our Rigveda Veda, it is clearly mentioned, Saptalokas are there. 7 lokas above the earth. With respect to the earth. 7 lokas below the earth. Lokas means you can say different worlds, multiverse or dimensions. Which I already said, there are 7 levels of atmosphere up in the earth. 7 levels below the ocean. And 7 levels towards the center of the earth if we can dig and go. For example, a borewell, if you bore a borewell to the center of the earth, 7 levels of different earth crust we can get. Substrata, strata, skirt, molten, semi-molten, solid. Right? So Saptalokas in that sense means 7 dimensions which are clear and evident. We don't require mathematics to prove 7 levels of atmosphere. We don't require mathematics to prove 7 levels under the sea. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, very famous. Just I remembered. Nice movie, nice novel. I think Jules Verne, name of the author. Later on, everything was true. Means that is superb. It was his imagination which came alive. 20,000 leagues under the sea. And 20,000 leagues in space. So space odyssey is there, underwater odyssey is there. And these things, I am surprised, means like time. They are saying time is a dimension. Means how can time be a dimension? Whether time is a dimension or not. It is simple. See, when we want to travel for time travel, when I want to travel from one place to another place, there has to be the place at the same time. From place 1A to place B, I can travel. The place has to be there in the same time and same place. We are not traveling in different times and different places. On earth, we are going from east to west, so time zones are different. That is okay. That is not time travel. Or someone will say even that is time travel. Traveling from one time to other time, backward and forward. But from place A to place B, we can travel. Because place A and place B are there at the same level. Like even in the past, I can travel from the North Pole to the South Pole. Even today I can travel from the North Pole to the South Pole. And tomorrow also I can travel from the North Pole to the South Pole. Because these poles exist and I can travel at the same level. For traveling we require to and fro journey, to and fro, return ticket, to and fro. In time, our present time is present now. Past is already gone. And future is yet to come. So how can you travel between two things which are not there at the same time? How can I travel from my current time to my past time, which is already gone, to and fro? And how can I travel from my current time to a future time which is not yet there? For traveling, these things require to be there at the same time. You cannot travel from a hypothetical place to a hypothetical place. For example, when we say about time travel and we say that we will travel to a star which is 4 billion light years away, see, it is clear that that star doesn't exist any longer now. The light has reached us after 4 billion years. So, if just in case we have faster than light machines, which is impossible, and we travel there, that star is no longer there now because the light has reached us already 4 billion years. And even with 3 lakh kilometers per hour speed, 3 lakh kilometers per second speed of light, 3 lakh kilometers per second speed of light, we cannot travel 3 or 4 billion light years in our lifetime. It is not possible. So whatever light we are seeing is coming from light years away. Light year is too large. Don't underestimate light year. Light year is not 100 years. 100 years is also very big. So this Fermi's paradox, interstellar travel is not possible. It will be possible only if we become immortal. Means if human beings are living permanently without dying. See, that is something not possible. We are mortals. Even dinosaurs were extinct. We have proved that so many different types of animals and breeds were there. But they are extinct now. We can hardly live 100 years nowadays in this era. And that is not a fit life. We are old. We have to retire at 60 or 70. So, traveling, time travel, and they are saying that time is a dimension. See, you cannot say time is a dimension. Time is a unit to calculate our unit. As I said, on different planets, the time will be different because their rotation around self and revolution around the central star will be different. The time will be different. The planets' physical and chemical geography will be different. We will require special space suits and special space equipments to travel there. We will not survive there. So that itself is a dimensional thing. Whenever you require special suits and special machines, remember you are traveling to another dimension. You cannot travel to something which is not visible to you. This time wrap and time machines are science fiction. You cannot travel in the past, you cannot travel in the future. See, I am surprised. These scientists, they will talk about traveling in the past and traveling in the future. And when if a religious person says that we believe in past life and rebirth, they will say it is superstition. I find that funny. If you can travel past, then you are going in the past birth. If you can travel in the future, then you are going to the rebirth naturally. Because in the future you are going 1000 years ahead. You are not going to live for 1000 years, right? So 1000 years ahead, someone else will be there, your grandson, his grandson or granddaughter or whatever. So when you are talking as a scientist of traveling back in time, traveling forward in time, time machine, time wrap, wormhole, and whatever holes are there for you to travel, and you are giving mathematical evidence, fictional mathematical evidence, and supporting yes, time travel is possible. Some scientists say yes, some scientists say no. Decide first whether it is yes or no, or yes and no. And if you believe in traveling in past time or traveling in the future, then if someone believes in past life or if someone believes in future life, what is wrong? Means if science fiction can support fictional things and if philosophers have their own fiction without evidence, then I find that science fiction, superstition, blind beliefs, fictional mathematics, they are all equal at par. They are all imagining things. I am a believer, but I don't shout that God exists, everyone must believe. No, I am a believer, I believe. Whether you believe or not, it's your problem. But the topic of this video is not this. If you believe in past travel, traveling past and traveling in the future, then if someone believes in past birth and rebirth, what is the difference? Means I don't understand. So these things, criticizing others is very easy. But when sometimes, as I said, some scientists also talk imaginary things. So in fact, I believe that scientists should speak with responsibility. Instead of giving fictional evidence and eyeing for the novel, you better be honest to science and stick to that. So Akashic records, we have a system in our Hindu system. Akashic records we believe. Akashic records, you may sound something different, but for modern people I will use the word cloud servers. We currently have cloud server technology. So Akashic records usually, my grandfather told me, we can access Akashic records if we do proper meditation. We have to tune, like we tune in the radio, we tune our mobiles, we tune our car engines, we tune our television. So you have to tune to these Akashic records, which are cloud servers. All details are available like Google or Wikipedia. It is already there. You have to just access. This is the universal library. And it is easy to access on full moon day or new moon day, and especially on an eclipse. So if you meditate during this full moon, new moon and eclipses, you can access these Akashic records or the universal Google or universal Wikipedia. Everything is there, nothing is lost. So if our sages accessed all these things and wrote it down in the different types of 4 Vedas are there, 108 Upanishads are there, right? And there are so many other different religions also. I respect every religion. I respect every religious book, every philosophy, every theology. Even scientific hypothesis also I respect. But you believe in certain scientific things without evidence, and then you will say that religious or philosophical beliefs, so they will say that the question why only philosophers and theologists or religious persons can answer. Why cannot a scientist answer the question why? So you are studying the laws of nature as they exist, but you don't know why the laws of nature are like that only. Why they are like that? So you run away from the singularity thing and start criticizing philosophers and theologians, theosophists. I think it is not fair. If you can have fictional science, if you can have fictional mathematics, you can believe in past travel and future travel, then we can believe in past birth and future birth. It is one and the same thing. There is no difference. Multiverse means scientific evidence for dimensions, level of energies, size of universe, space and time. They are equating. They are saying it is one and the same thing. How can space and time be the same thing? Supposing if a theater is there, space, and we are watching movies and say plays at different times. Roughly a theater from 1920 may still exist in 2020 also. So the space in the theater is same, the space outside the theater is also same, right? At different times we are seeing different movies, but space inside the theater will not change. Movies will change, time will change. With changing time, the space inside and outside the theater will not change. Space and time are different. On different planets, it will be different. Basically, the concept that time is a dimension itself is wrong. So, equating space and time using independent vector analysis, x, y and z axis, horizontal x and y and z axis vertical, where the vertical axis is time, and using this vector analysis, independent vector analysis, 3-dimensional vector analysis, and saying that time and space are one, and giving hypothetical and funny examples saying negative space, negative time, positive space, positive time, without evidence, means it is not good. That is not science. This is something which is true and false, not true or false. So space and time, they cannot be equated, whatever equations we have. It is a fictional thing. And the evidence which you give is fictional mathematics, which is not acceptable. And you are trying to find out whether, see, in our earth there are oceans. In oceans, there, as I said, for every kilometer or 1,000 meters, life changes. Different things happen in the ocean, right? There are life in the ocean, different life which we are not yet aware of. We are not aware of the 1 crore species of flora and fauna on earth. We just know they exist. We don't know our earth in entirety. So in the ocean, these different fishes are swimming. So these fishes inside the ocean are not aware of the planets in space or the galaxies in space. For them it is a different dimension, right? The fish don't, now you don't tell me that fish are idiots. So they are not idiots. They have their intelligence. They are surviving in their own world. They have their life cycle, their lifestyles. Their intelligence is there. They are not designed to make telescopes and watch the space, but they are existing on the earth. So for a whale or a shark or an intelligent species like a cuttlefish, which is like a chameleon which can change color. See, this at 10,000 years, whatever life is there, they are not aware of space, what is going on in the space, right? So I think this ocean itself is a space of water, full of water. And our space is an ocean of vacuum. It is now clear that space is vacuum with maybe hydrogen ions or helium ions, and because of fusion, atomic fusion or atomic fission, this hydrogen will convert to helium and so on and so forth. I will not go into the atomic generations, right? So this is not correct. So our space is an ocean of vacuum, and our planets, our sun, our system, our billion stars, our galaxies, and whatever observable universe via our Hubble telescope and our James Webb telescope, infrared telescope, whatever we are observing. So it is an ocean of vacuum. Interstellar space is light years wide, and it may have atoms or ions of helium, hydrogen, whatever means basic particles. Refer to the theoretic, means periodic table. See, even in periodic table there are 7 rows, not 6 or 8. 7 rows indicates 7 valence orbits. So again 7 lights, 7 sounds, 7 atmospheres above the earth, 7 layers in the water, 7 layers underground, 7 rows in periodic table. So naturally 7 visible dimensions, and if you go in the infra and the ultra or supersonic or subsonic, there has to be at least 7. So 7 on the 7 to the 14, 7 3 is 21. So I think 11 not, I think there are, we are in the visible spectrum, we have got 7 lights. So above and below, infra and ultra, hypersonic and subsonic, again 7. So we have got 21 dimensions. Of course, for mathematics, the numbers, we don't have computers to crunch all these numbers for 21 dimensions. At 11 dimensions itself, our mathematics fails, because when it comes to infinity and infinitesimal thing, very small, extremely small things and extremely large things, mathematics fails. So this space and time thing Is something means, like say, if you are like dividing by 0 gives you an error, because if you have a stick you can break it into two parts, divide into 2 parts or 4 parts, but how can you divide a stick into 0 parts? So stick remains intact. Or dividing 0 by 0 is also error, because something which is not there, nothing, you cannot divide nothing by nothing, so error is there. But if you can divide 0 by a number, because if nothing is there, it is going to give you 0. So nothing will come out of nothing. If you want something, something has to be there. So it is logical, true or false it is. If there is a creation, there has to be a creator. We may or may not like it. We ourselves have not made robots which can make robots. Our cars do not reproduce cars. Whatever we have manufactured as human beings, they don't have the capability of reproducing, which our cells have. See, microcosm and macrocosm are interdependent and independent. For example, a sperm and an egg will unite and give birth to a human being. But if the sperm dies or if the egg dies, then they cannot reproduce. So if a microscopic sperm dies or a microscopic egg malfunctions, birth of human being, which is a macrocosm, is not possible. If a seed is burned, a seed contains all the data of the plant. It will germinate into a full tree. A large tree is in a small seed. So a small seed is like a small USB or a memory card, right? It has all the data inside it. How the tree will form, how the tree will grow, then the life cycle of the tree. So whatever nature has done or made, nature can reproduce itself without external support. Of course, climate is required, all these things are there, but nature provides everything to that seed. So a sperm and an egg are microscopic, but they give birth to a human being who is macroscopic and who builds telescopes and robots and whatnot. Elephant also is born from a sperm and egg. So every large animal, big animal, or a small rat or mice are born from a microscopic cell. Microscopic cells unite to form life. Even in seed also, trees, flora and fauna, life begins at the microscopic level, and then it will germinate and develop into a macroscopic. A big tree is born. So that big tree will bear plants, it will have leaves, branches, it will have fruits, and inside the fruit there is again the seed. So a seed gives birth to a seed in the fruit, and the whole cycle is complete. And so nature keeps on reproducing from microscopic to macroscopic level, from microscopic to macroscopic level. All flora, fauna, cement is form of dirt. A molecule of gold is gold only. A big block of gold is gold. So from a small atom to a solid molecule, it is clear that everything begins at the microscopic level. Our gold is made of, there is an atom of gold, there is an atom of silver, atom of aluminum, atom of magnesium, atom of sodium, potassium. Just look at the periodic table and you will see that everything begins at the atomic level. So that is microscopic, or quantum mechanics, quantum physics, or quantum chemistry, or quantum biology. And these quantum things give birth, this microscopic thing gives birth to a macroscopic world, which is larger than the microscopic world. So see, for example, a sperm and egg are at a dimension. For example, can a sperm or an egg, can a sperm imagine where it is staying? It is into the testicle of the male. Can that sperm visualize how space is outside there. That sun exists, moon exists, there is the Hubble telescope or the James Webb telescope. This sperm is inside the testicles of the man. Egg is inside the fallopian tube of the female. They are microscopic. So, this microscopic sperm cannot visualize the male in whose testes it is staying. But our doctors in vitro fertilization, in artificial fertilization, which usually fails for 50% of the time, that is on the record means. So, we can manipulate the sperm, we can manipulate the egg, we can manipulate at the genetic level. So, for a sperm or a microscopic thing, sperm we are manipulating, we are harvesting sperms, we are harvesting eggs from the woman, and then we are going for test tube babies, we are going for test tube animals, we are going for hybrid animals, we are making experiments whether we can mix breeds of animals and generate some new breeds. So, this microscopic sperm is in a microscopic dimension, and for that microscopic sperm we human beings are in such a larger dimension that we can interfere in their life. We can decide the quality of sperm, we can increase or decrease the quality of sperm. So, we are God here. So, we are macroscopic beings which are interfering in the microscopic world. So, naturally we are controlling that. So, the upper beings, we are in an upper dimension. We are in a dimension where the sperm or the egg cannot visualize us. It doesn't even know we exist. It is responsible for our formation, but it doesn't know we exist. Right? So, this microscopic world, as human beings, we are controlling. We are trying to control the microscopic world. We are trying to control the telescopic world. So, for the telescopic world through which we are seeing, the world beyond the telescope, right? It is beyond our telescope. So, naturally at the other end, we are microscopic for those telescopic beings, if they exist, wherever they are. If there are life in the telescopic world, whatever world we are seeing, so we are at the other end of the telescope, right? Smaller eyepiece. So, for the telescopic world out there, we are a microscopic world. When we are watching from the microscope eyepiece, we are in a telescopic world for that sperm. And now we are observing the microscopic world through the microscope's eyepiece. So, it is clear that this microscopic world and telescopic world are interdependent and independent. And this virus, bacteria and germs can kill us, and we can also kill them. And so, it is an eternal fight of this microscopic and telescopic world, for which they are trying to find a theory of everything. It is already there. This microscopic world and the telescopic world are interdependent and independent, and a time will come when maybe like we are accessing sperms and eggs, someone else must be looking at us from their microscope, and for them we are maybe a microscopic world, we are staying in quantum mechanics. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this microscopic world, we are a microscopic world for some other telescopic world, some higher beings. Like for the sperm, we belong to some other dimension. The sperm or egg cannot come in our world and survive outside our body. Inside our universe, inside our body, there are so many cells, pathology, so many blood cells are there, microscopic pathology is such a big subject. But that in itself is a universe. One failure of the cell, if our one cell fails, if our one pathological reports are not normal, it can lead to our death. So, these microscopic failures lead to failure of our multiple organ failures, which are macroscopic, which are large. So, this microscopic and macroscopic world are dependent. So, if microscopic world is extinct, if our pathology is not clear, we fall ill and we will die. So this microscopic world is responsible for a death of a human being, which is macroscopic, which is very large. And I am sure that cells inside our body are not aware of the universe beyond our telescope. So I think this microscopic world is inside a microscopic world, same is applicable to telescopic world, inside a telescopic world, and inside or outside a telescopic world. So beyond our microscope and beyond our telescope, world exists. It is clear and evident. We don't require imaginary mathematics. We don't have to forcibly say that time is a dimension and space and time are one. Means these are fictional concepts, not acceptable. As I said, in science it has to be true or false and not true and false.